I'm Bob Poe, and thanks everybody for coming. Now, I'm running for governor because I really think it's time that Alaska starts getting something done. If you think about it, we've really got precious little accomplished over the last 7 years. And I came here 28 years ago with Pricewaterhouse to design an accounting system for the state of Alaska. Miraculously, that's still the system they use today. They might be planning on a new one soon. But during that time, I'm proud to have served 4 governors. I've served 3 Democrat governors, Sheffield, Cooper, and Knowles, and 1 Republican, Hickel. I have had a marvelous career up here, which has allowed me to kind of go seamlessly between the private and public sector. Not your average kind of political background. Anyhow, I am running for governor, and the reason I'm running is I want to make sure that we've got jobs so that our kids can come back to Alaska or stay in Alaska and build their future here. And we need the kind of economy, an economy that can support the arts, cultural events, sports, all the things that make Alaska such a vital place to live. You know, I'm really concerned about where Alaska's headed. Our economy rests on a 3-legged stool. That stool is teetering because we've really put all our eggs in one basket. As this previous governor we had, who quit a while ago, said, she called our gas pipeline the next economic lifeline for Alaska. And I thought, gosh, that's such a terrible way to think about our state, that we're just hanging on the next economic lifeline that's going to sort of save us from our own miserable selves. You know, we're actually a very accomplished place that's done a lot of great things, and putting all your eggs in one basket and hoping somebody decides on a project that'll save us is a terrible way to build a future. Anything that you can think of that's diversifying our economy, it's in that other leg. And what we really have to do, in my opinion, is to build that 3rd leg. And what I think we need to be doing is supporting our tourism companies through advertising, especially Alaska-based companies. You know, all summer long I thought I should go to Michigan. I kept seeing all these commercials from Michigan, and I thought, why in the world can a place with a 25% unemployment rate afford to be advertising to me in Alaska to go play golf in Michigan, and I'm not seeing Alaskan commercials? Now, maybe they were seeing a lot of them in Michigan, but I get the sense they weren't. And so I really think that what we need to be doing is backing tourism up with the kind of marketing budget that drives customers to our businesses here. And I think what we've got to do is be growing that everything else leg, developing and diversifying our economy by building that while not killing oil. Because remember, oil is not only 1/3 of the jobs, but it pays for 90% of state government, 57% of local government. So when you think about those social services, the kinds of things that we need, it's oil that often pays those bills. So the first thing we need to be doing is growing and diversifying our economy while not killing off oil. The second thing we need to be reckoning with is dealing with the really frightening energy issues that we have in Rail Belt Alaska. Right now, we're about 1 earthquake away from having the lights go off, because 90% of our power comes from gas that literally can be interrupted that quickly. We've got to reckon with how to develop and diversify our energy resources here in the Rail Belt area. We could be the world experts in the under 5 megawatt energy as well. So we've got to find a way to bring down energy costs in rural Alaska. We need to be dealing with a very challenging educational problem in Alaska. And that is that in Anchorage, it's as much as 40% of our kids aren't graduating on time. In rural Alaska, that can be 60%. We're not investing in education like we ought to be. In all of our businesses, we need the university. We need to crank out smart kids and qualified employees. So we need to be thinking a lot more about vocational education and how to build that workforce. And we also need to work on ways to keep our best and brightest here. The university is critical for that. And the university is critical not only for those 4 and 6 and 8 year programs, but also that's the people cranking out the A&P certificated mechanics. By the way, does everybody know that the air traffic controller that cleared the runway so that the pilot could have options as he landed his plane in the Hudson River was air traffic controller trained in Anchorage? At the University of Alaska. So we've got to find ways to make education more relevant, to keep our kids in school so that they're a vital workforce for our future. What I like to say is I'm a pro-business, pro-development, pro-environment Democrat. And why does that make sense? Because I think none of us want to screw this place up. We're all here because we love the beauty and the wildness and the clean air and clean water. And I start from this sort of maybe quirky idea that most Alaskans agree on most stuff. And what we need is a leader who has the knowledge and the skills and the experience to bring Alaskans together, to find common ground, to solve problems, and get things done. And of all the people running, the person who could actually do that is me. And I've got the record to back that claim up. On the public sector side, I've done things like run international trade in Alaska during its heyday when we really had $3.6 billion in exports. I ran our offices in Japan, and Korea, and Taiwan, oversaw the opening of relations with Russia. I run the Alaska Energy Authority, Alaska's biggest development bank, ADA, Commissioner of Administration, Deputy Commissioner of Transportation, Director of Environmental Conservation. But I've also done all sorts of private sector stuff, worked for Price Waterhouse and Coopers and Lybrand, big international consulting firms, as a senior vice president with a subsidiary of Arctic Slope Regional, and was CEO of Anchorage Economic Development Corporation. So I know what this is.
How old are you?
I'm 55. All I want to do is be the best governor I can be for Alaska. You're not going to find me making decisions while I'm governor thinking, now how's that going to play in my future run for Senate or, God forbid, president? I have no political aspiration beyond being a good governor for Alaska. And I'll make you one very simple promise. I want to be governor for 2 terms. Terza and I bought into that sort of a 10-year adventure here. 22 months to run, hopefully 2 terms to serve, and then you will never hear from me again, I promise. I want to go write and teach, but I want to bring these skills and this ability to work for Alaska. I expect to probably be running against the current governor. I can beat this man. I have a better record, I have much more experience, I know these issues very well, and I've got charisma. But I can't do it without your help. I can win this. I can get elected by the broad base of voters in Alaska.